Welcome back to Everyday Woman, and we're going to introduce you to the other women. So many times as women, they expect us to all be the same, but there are so many different types of us out there, and we're going to break down some of the stereotypes that we have. So we have Wanda Colon. You are a Latina personality.
Yes.
In television. And let me ask you, when you're going out there for roles, do they just expect you to always, you know, be the same person, talk with the same accent?
You know, when I first started acting and when I first came out to LA, a lot of the auditions and submissions said, you must speak Spanish with an accent. And then you go in and I feel like they really expect a certain stereotype. You know, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to walk in like Carmen Miranda with bananas on my head, okay? Like, we are so many different women, and I'm only going to be who I am. Now, absolutely, when you're an actress, there are roles that you have to play, but who I am is who I am. I've even had people, when I say I'm Puerto Rican, they're like, oh, really? Act Puerto Rican. Okay. Let me see you do Puerto Rican.
Do the show dance for us.
I can't do Puerto Rican. I am Puerto Rican.
Do you think the industry's changed since you first went on those first auditions, and now do you think there is a difference in way people view
Well, I definitely,
Latinas and
you know what,
stereotypes?
absolutely, and it's because there are more people out there that are Latin. There are, you know, more, it's more visible, it's more accessible to people to see. So yeah, so they see
and they
that
realize there's this huge audience.
There's a huge audience, absolutely,
Right.
and you know, that's so important, and that's a really great benefit to people coming out and starting in the industry.
But let me ask you, I mean, obviously in Southern California where you are, you know, it's pretty easy to be surrounded by other Latinos.
Absolutely.
What about when you're doing shows for the rest of the country? Is that where the stereotypes come in more?
Absolutely. I did a show for TLC called Homemade Simple, and we traveled all over the country, and you know, that's where and it was a P&G show, so it was definitely more middle America. And there were times where I was like up here and they're like, just relax, you know? So yeah, so you just have to kind of know your place and know where you are in your business and be confident, and it all works out. But at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Well, what about with the different generations? Do you think it's easier for you to be yourself than maybe your mom, or how is it different for the generations?
Well, I mean, you know, I think that it should be easy for everyone to be confident and be themselves in their own skin. And I do definitely feel like when you're in this type of industry, that takes a little bit of time. So yeah. But I feel like what I benefit from is that my parents were born and raised in Puerto Rico. So I was first generation here. So I have a really great link to my culture. I think other generations coming in, it's really important that we don't lose that tie, because it's really simple. Like, some of my nieces and nephews don't know Spanish. So to me, that's kind of really sad, and I take it on. Like, you know, I talk to them in Spanish and they're like, ¿qué? I'm like, no, you're going to listen to what I have to say and you're going to learn it, you know? So I think that it's a little bit harder for them because, you know, their link is just sometimes by name only. Right. So it's really important for people like me that's first generation to maintain that culture.
Because there's a fine line between assimilation and maintaining that culture and that history. And
you know what, Charlotte, that is
tradition.
it, sister.
Yeah.
You nailed it. There is a fine line. It really is. And you know what, it's who I am. I'm really proud of what I am. I'm proud of my parents and what they had to do to come here and to give us this kind of life. But I'm also, you know, wanting to make sure that we don't forget.
Did you always want to be in the entertainment industry?
I did, since I was really little. I think it's because I have 3 older brothers, and I was the youngest girl, and I was always the one, like, everybody made a big deal about. So it was an easy transition.
You were the center of attention.
I was always the center of attention. And so, yes, and my parents were super supportive, and I started out doing plays as a really young child.
Yeah.
Well, what about now? How do you find ways to relax? What are your ways to relax?
I love to cook. I love
and
to
that's
cook.
Relaxing? What about the cleanup? Is that relaxing?
You know what? I don't like to clean up. Absolutely not. But I love to cook. I love to have people over at my house. Every holiday, people come over to my house. My door is always open, and they.
All right. Well, we're coming over then.
You know what? You're more than welcome.
All right.
Arroz con gandules, baby.
All right. Well, that was Wanda Colon, and we'll be back with more on Everyday Woman.